Hi, I'm John Lee, and I'm here to talk about media players, file formats, technology in general. So the quality of these devices and software and hardware combos. So this is the first portable media player I ever had, which isn't too bad. It's pretty decent for what it is. You can get it between £20 and £30 on Amazon. It's pretty cheap. It plays full HD and Blu-ray files. You could pretty good encoding of MKV H.264. That one I haven't seen too much of. 5.1 output. That's pretty good sound quality. 5.1 surround sound. It is pretty good for like cinematic DTS, digital theatre system installations and stuff. And it's I've upgraded it to the fourth one, but I'm not entirely sure where I placed the first one I bought, and there's pros and cons for both the first and the first one I bought, this one, Micro 2, and the 4 version that I have, Micro 4. So this is Micro 4 review. Besides the 4 one having like internet access and Miracast to mirror your stuff from your phone or your monitor onto the display. This one's good for. They're both pretty good for high quality video files of movies and TV and whatnot. So really high grade quality movies like Ant-Man. Was pretty damn good, and Chappie. They were like 4K down res from 4K to HD, and still maintained some of the high quality from the bit depth. You could really see it in the color. So I have Ant-Man encoded as an MKV file. Let's see. MKV merge version v7.7. 32-bit build. That's the general information. Should be standard 8-bit depth. UHD. I wonder what high at L4.1 is. Encoded as an MPEG AVC advanced video coding, which that is probably what's maintaining all the sharpness. The specific I think Chappie was also MP4 encoded. Yeah, AVC encoded AVC MPEG-4. Yep. Fairly low rain for it. Frame drop. Frame rate. It's only 23, but it's SD 720 by 1920. No, yeah, 800 by 1920. But it's still pretty damn good. Plus on my full 32-bit monitor, it comes out my dynamic contrast ratio is pretty damn high, so it looked pretty even better on the new monitor I upgraded to for that full cinematic experience. But yeah, getting back to these two, the first one I brought years ago, this one, this one, when it plays back bad files that even VLC plays, doesn't play very well. The encoding some bad rip files of some TV series, and it's really bad when I play it on VLC or certain other devices. But this one keeps it crisp and clean. So even if it's a really low quality and the encoding is really shit and you see them wavy lines, this version really helped to clear it up and make it look pretty decent. While the latest version won't even play the files properly, it would skip them, which is really weird, because you would think the same manufacturer would keep consistency of the software, but they haven't. So it's quite a simple device you can easily put in your pocket. All you do is connect HDMI cable and the power cable and you're good to go. Pretty good for the price as well. So it's almost as good as it's more or less as good as a 32-bit Blu-ray player, which costs like over $500 or more for a 32-bit to 4K Blu-ray player. That can play these digitally mastered 4K bit depth and color bit and high frequency color, just as well as the Micro 4, the subdivision Cyclone Micro 4 can. Yeah, not too bad. Although there's another file format that it can't play, but the next version they've released for the 4K version of their subdivision Cyclone probably, I think, plays HVEC, high frequency video coding. On encoded with MKV files and other files. Not really much need for them because the ISO, the H.264 and VLC video encoding was good enough. But if you're, because even iMacs play it like 24-bit iMac Cinema, and their encoding is probably HVEC for 8K and 6 to 8K, sometimes 4K, but 4K you don't really need it, you just need VLC and H.265, and 4 is okay. But yes, yeah, but it can't, so the current version I have, and none of my converters to try and convert it to another format so it can play it, can read a file with HVEC yet. Can't read it. You can only read the audio. Even After Effects, which is a pretty big industry encoding program, or Premiere Pro, could not read that file. And as I am a visualist, I am a FX production artist and compositor and editor. It's my job to know some of these files, so it's a bit weird when I tried to get it to read the file and it couldn't understand what it was. I've had full 32-bit files edited in After Effects and Nuke, 24-bit files, all these high frequency files, and that I take from this camera I'm recording on now can record all this in great depth. But apparently HVEC isn't accepted unless Speed Grade might for HDR encoded, but I doubt it. Not for like the high frequency versions for my 3D panels that I make for my CG animations. Yeah, very strange that it didn't understand or even would accept the file, it would just bring up an error. You just say, can't read this. Yeah. So the Pioneer 4K, Blu-ray player that I have at the moment can play at full bit depth, 36-bit depth, even though the standard is 32. But I'm a little annoyed that you can't control the bit depth, because if I take it off the high frequency bit depth, it averages to 8-bit depth, which is for basic Blu-ray and DVD, etc. But you would think they'd give you more option, because usually it'd be 8, 10, 14 or 16, then 24-bit, then 30, and then 32, and then 36. But I get 32 and 36, which is really weird. You think they'd have more control for something like that? Because what if I got one of those annoying 4K displays that the highest frequency they have is only 14-bit? They don't do 24-bit 4K TVs. You might be lucky to find one that's a monitor, but they won't perfect them for at least another 5 to 6 years or longer. Because the new Ultra 4K and 8K curved TVs, their highest frequency is only 14-bit. When I checked on their manufacturer website, that's what it stated. So if I ever got one of those, it'd be more beneficial if I could, instead of doing 32-bit, I could change it to 14-bit, so it's averages it out on the screen to make it more fair. But that's why I'm sticking with my HD full 32-bit monitor at the moment, because it's better than a 14-bit 4K TV, because it won't show that amount of quality. The 4K TVs they have won't show that quality. They would show the resolution quality, but they won't show the colour and bit depth quality. And no, not even with the white subpixel doesn't count. It's nowhere near as good. I've tested it out. Oh man, that's why it's better for me to wait. They will eventually make a full 32. In fact, by then I bloody hope they'd, release 48-bit. And that'd make more sense. But knowing the industry, they probably won't. Not in the UK or America. I'd have to go to Japan, where they do it proper. Because Japan is the only place that has the 4K projection 3D TVs at 24-bit, but they haven't released it in the UK or America. So, and that's monitor, not TV. Let's see, what else? So I like these media players because they don't just play the file format, they play the encoding, and they can play most of the encoding, even if it's a bad quality file. It actually makes it better, the quality better. It takes out the fuzziness and gives it something, makes it actually watchable. But I'm a little pissed that the upgrade didn't do that, and I'm a little more pissed because I have no idea where my original Cyclone Micro 2 went. I might have accidentally lost it when I moved all my stuff out of my university dorm, and forgot to take it with me. So someone probably found it, or I lost it halfway moving all my stuff back into my other apartment. So yeah. Although they are quite cheap, I could get a replacement, but it would come with a whole box. It wouldn't just come with the player itself, which is annoying. Or I could compromise and see if their upgrade has the features I want from the old one and all the features from the new one combined, and that would be good enough for me. If it could play 4K content as well, would be great. And maybe the upgrade does play HVAC files, which wouldn't be too bad. But I don't really care about HVAC at the moment. It doesn't appeal to me, who knows what he's talking about with file formats. M4V files are pretty good for fast renders of full HD files that you can upload to the internet quicker, because they keep the quality and the bit depth all in zinc, while making it a very low in data. The data is much lower, so you can transfer it easier and doesn't take up so much space like an MKV file does. Not too bad for YouTube or something like that. So yeah, this is John Lee. A VFX production, visualist, artist. It's computer graphics, computer science as well. So yeah, rate, comment, subscribe, and see any suggestions, or let me know what you think.